Network coming at you. And I want to share a little bit about my story because I recently made a change to a different brokerage. And a lot of agents right now are in the marketplace talking about what brokerage they should be at, who's a 100%, who's a this, who's a that, who offers the best of this, who will help with leads, all these things. And really, in the end, the brokerage is not there for you. The brokerage is there for the brokerage. It's for the investors in the brokerage, the owners of the brokerage, the brand. The brokerage is really serving itself by bringing agents on. Ultimately, you need to find the right place to run your business in the way you run your business and not necessarily in the way they run their business. So I'm going to give you the top 3 ways I've evaluated my brokerage and determined I need to go somewhere else to run my business the way that I wanted to. So for me, number one was fit. And fit is a very broad term, so I'll dial that down. But I was looking for a place where I had similar thoughts and feelings and opinions and a similar way of doing business as the rest of that brokerage. And what I found with the brokerage that I was at is my brokerage was very focused on sales awards and sales targets and production goals. And it was all about production. And to me, that wasn't why I was in this business. Production's great. We all want to sell homes, we all want to get paid. For me, it was really about it was broadening my horizons. It was building businesses around my real estate business. It was doing things other than just selling more homes. And what I found is that the culture and the fit of this brokerage was geared towards sales professionals. If you wanted to come in and sell a bunch of houses and compete for awards and get your name on the scoreboard, this is the place to be. If you wanted to build ancillary business around and passive revenue and passive income and do things other than just sell houses, fit wise, it wasn't good for me. So when I looked around, what I saw was the top of the top agents in the marketplace were all just sales focused. They didn't invest in real estate. They didn't own rental properties. They didn't own ancillary businesses. They just grinded and grinded and grinded and sold more houses. And they made a lot of money and they had great success. And that was what they wanted. But when I looked at the people that were at the top of the brokerage, they were not people that I wanted to emulate. They were not people that I wanted to be. Their business would be my version of my personal hell, just grinding it out to sell more homes. I liked variety. I like to sell homes, do commercial deals, invest in real estate, start up other companies, and build an entire ecosystem that allowed me to serve my clients better by solving more of their problems, but also allow me to not be so reliant upon production because honestly, my skill set, my talent, my mindset was not around how many homes can I sell. It was how do I help this group of people in more ways than one? How do I maximize my relationship with these people versus just constantly chase more and more new people? So for me, my brokerage was not a fit for me anymore because I was not driven by sales production and goals and awards. I don't care about the awards. You can keep the plastic trophies and the plaques. I don't want any of that. I want to build businesses that allow me to grow and scale, allow me to bring other people in to grow and scale, and that also allow me to not be so reliant upon production because that was not my favorite thing to do. So when you look around your brokerage and you think about how you want your business to look, are people in your brokerage doing that? Are there people there you can emulate? And for me, there were very few people in my brokerage, at least where I was, that I could emulate, that I could pick their brain and understand what they were doing, that I could learn from. They were just very much motivated by more production, more sales, more units, and that wasn't for me. So I looked at it as if I want to go do what I want to do and I want to build my business a certain way, I won't be able to do that here because I won't be able to find the people that can show me the way that I can learn from and grow around. So to me, it was time for a change. So number one for me was fit. Can I grow my business the way that I want to within this brokerage? And will I have the people around me to let me do that? And the answer to that was no. So, okay, number one. Number two, opportunity. Again, I want to build a larger business. I want to build something with scale. I want to bring other people in. I want to build a network and I want to build expansion. And what I found was that was very, very hard to do where I was. A great example was I was the director of growth and a partner building out the largest team in Maine by units. We did almost $3.5 million GCI, almost 400 sides, $135 million in volume. And when I broke off on my own and decided to go build it on my own because the team was no longer going to exist and the team was going to become a much smaller version of itself, and I wanted to do this on my own, what I found was the opportunities that I thought would be there weren't there. I went to the brokerage office and I asked about starting a team and I was told I didn't qualify. I didn't meet certain criteria because I hadn't been in personal production at a level that would allow me to start a team? No, but I trained and brought in agents that led to 400 transactions aside. I sacrificed my personal production to allow those people to grow. And because of that, I didn't have the personal production to check that box. I also needed permission from the leadership group, and I needed permission from the ownership group. And I could not open an office in certain areas because of franchise rights. So really, I was told effectively I could be a solo agent there. I could work in the main office and I could work under the banner of the brokerage, but I really couldn't have my own team. I couldn't have my own brand. I couldn't have my own location because I didn't qualify for any of that, or the franchise requirements didn't let me do it. So right out of the gate, I knew that was a problem. Second to that, when I tried to partner with agents in other markets, I ran into all kinds of resistance and red tape and requirements. And you need to have this approval and that approval and this sign off. And you have to go take this training and you need to know these things. And it was just one of those things where I know what I'm doing. I built a team to almost 400 sides. I've run $1.5 billion organization. I've run several organizations that were $100 million or greater. I know how to run a business. I know how to do this. I don't need all this red tape. I don't need all these requirements. I don't need to ask. I should not have to ask for permission every time I try to do something. And what I learned was that's how this works. In these bigger franchises, you have to ask permission every time you do something. Everything requires their approval, because you're potentially trampling on somebody's franchise rights, somebody's location, somebody's P&L, and you spend a lot of your time asking permission to do things. And to me, at this point, I just don't need to do that. I didn't feel the need to continue to ask permission to do things. I know what I'm doing. I just want to be able to go do it. So for me, I realized right there that if I wanted to go and partner with agents in other markets, or partner with agents even in my own market, I wasn't going to be able to do that because the brokerage was not going to allow me to run my business the way I wanted to run it until I met certain criteria that would then allow them to tell me that I could. But even then, I needed more levels of approval and still couldn't have my own office and all these other things. So I looked at it as, if this environment requires me to ask permission every time I want to do something, and I can potentially be shut down because the brokerage wins out over me, this isn't the place for me. In addition to that, when I started opening up ancillary businesses and offering potential services to agents, I found the brokerage would not support that because I was in competition with them. I was now selling services to their own agents, and they don't want that because they wanted to sell those services to the agents. And what we're seeing right now is a lot of brokerages are opening up ancillary services. They're bringing in mortgage partnerships and title partnerships, and they're really dialing in harder and harder on their own coaching programs. And they're cutting out a lot of those third parties to effectively protect their own P&L, protect their own office by beginning to alienate all those third parties. And I fell into the bucket of, well, I was a third party. Although I pay my cap and my split to the brokerage and I'm a paying member of the office, I was seen as a competitive third party, and therefore I did not get support. So not only could I not build a team or partner up with other agents, I also couldn't offer agents other services because, again, the brokerage was in business for itself and I came second to it. So that to me didn't work. If I have to live with nothing but walls and guardrails and permission and paperwork, it's never going to work. I'm never going to be able to grow here because I'm going to spend most of my life fighting the bureaucracy of a franchise. So that was second for me, opportunity. The opportunity just wasn't there. I wasn't going to be able to grow and scale and do the things I wanted to do inside of their ecosystem because they just were not built to let me do that. Third and final for me was financial. And again, like I mentioned, I don't love sales production and people make a lot more money. I'm okay not making $1 million a year while those other top producers do, because financial, I'm not driven necessarily by the financial. I'm driven by the impact and the ability to help other people and grow other people, build other people. And the financial will be there in the end. I'm not worried about that. But for me, it's not all money driven. But ultimately, when I looked at what I pay that brokerage, what my split was, what my cap was, what I got for it, it was very expensive relative to other opportunities and other options out there. So I was not working in the office. I was not taking advantage of the training. I was not going to all the events. I was not utilizing any of their services because I didn't need them. I was established. I could do my own thing. I did not need all of that help. So for me to spend an extra $8, $9, $10,000 a year to the brokerage to not use any of their services and be told I can't do what I needed to do, it made no sense to me. So ultimately, I made the decision to leave the franchise and I went to EXP. And a lot of people go, "Oh, you went to EXP to be a recruiter." No, no, I didn't go to EXP to be a recruiter. Very few people at EXP are really truly recruiters. I went to EXP because I lost the franchise rules. I can have an office anywhere. I can put my office wherever I want it to. I can have my own signage. I can start my own team. All I need to do is let them know about it. As long as I don't break any laws or act in a way that in any way harms the brokerage, I'm allowed to operate my business. Opportunity for me was great. You want to sell ancillary, you want to run ancillary businesses or sell services to agents? Great. We have a whole marketplace for that. Come in, advertise, meet people, share with them what you do, sign them up. Ancillary businesses, no problem. Do your thing. And what I was doing was welcome with open arms. And to go back to fit, what I looked around and saw was everybody else at EXP is doing that too. What I found was most of your franchises are salespeople in real estate. What I found with EXP is most of the people there are entrepreneurs in real estate. They run large teams and multiple businesses and have passive income and invest in real estate and invest in people. And they've developed this ecosystem. And that's ultimately what I wanted. I wanted to do the same thing. So what I looked around and saw that this was not only allowed but commonplace at EXP, I felt like I'd found the people that I would actually jive with, that were doing what I wanted to do, that I could learn from. So that to me was huge. EXP took all the walls down, all the borders down. I can work with agents in any state, any country potentially. I don't have to deal with all the rules of a franchise. I can have my own office. I can have my own team. I can operate how I want to. I can build expansion partners. I can build ancillary businesses. I can partner with agents all over the world. And I wasn't dealing with red tape and bureaucracy of a franchise. So to me, that was a massive breath of fresh air to be able to go in and operate the way I wanted to, and not only be allowed to do it, but be supported and have other people in the world that were seeing that going, hey, how can I help? What can you learn from me? And I can jump onto a mastermind or a call with anybody at any time, and I can learn from the best in the business. So the entrepreneurial draw to EXP was really what caught my attention. And lastly, financial. What I loved about EXP was not only is it a much lower cap, I'm saving $9,000 or $10,000 a year. It's a better split. I can earn stock. They offer health insurance if I need it. Revenue share. So rather than getting profit share from these other brokerages where I get paid last, now it's revenue share. So I get paid first. It's more consistent. It's more, you can almost count on it when you bring people in and they produce, because you're getting paid first. The agents get paid first. Profit share, you get paid last. So if the market center is not profitable or not run very well, which some of them are not run terribly well, we don't get paid as agents. So that recruiting doesn't mean anything to you another place. The people that you add to the brokerage don't mean anything if you're not going to get something for it. And with the franchises, with the profit share model, you're not guaranteed to get anything where revenue share you are. So ultimately for me, EXP is going to save me at least $10,000 a year. It's going to open up all these doors, take down all the walls, take all the red tape out, take all the bureaucracy out, and let me operate my business and businesses the way that I want to. It's going to save me money. It's going to create more wealth for me with the stock. And ultimately for me, it was a much better deal. And if you asked me 3 years ago, I would have told you I would never go to EXP. That didn't match what I wanted. But what I learned as I went through the market we just came out of, and I spent more time in the industry and I got around other people, what I realized was I wanted to grow that distributed type business model. I wanted to have the ancillaries. I wanted to have a better share of the customer. I wanted to do more. And I couldn't do that where I was. And EXP was really the model that spoke to me, that said, you can do that here and we'll even help you. So to recap, the three things I did to check brokerage: fit. Can you do what you want to do where you are? Are people that are there are people in that brokerage in your market doing what you want to do that you can emulate? Two is opportunity. Can you go pursue other opportunities in real estate and have support for that? So can you expand? Can you start up ancillary businesses? Can you get into other arenas and get in other rooms and learn from other people and be able to do more in this industry? And lastly was financial. Are you actually getting what you pay for? Are you getting a deal that makes sense? And are you actually able to maximize your earnings and the value from the brokerage with the right level of harmony? And it's not about 100% or free. I don't want to pay anything. I'm happy to pay for value that I receive. And I feel like with this model, I'm receiving value for my cap, and I'm getting a better split to do it in addition to a lower cap. So is it better for me financially? Yes, but I feel like I'm actually getting value for what I'm paying as well. So for those of you right now thinking about brokerage switch, that's how I went through the process. I'm happy to talk to anybody about why I made the switch. If you're currently at EXP, I'd love to hear what you like about it. What keeps you there. If you've left EXP, I'd love to find out why you left. What caused you to leave? But if you're somewhere else and thinking maybe the time is right for a switch, I'd be happy to talk to you. You're welcome to join our organization, our network here with EXP, where we've got systems and AI and media and digital and content and all kinds of stuff we're bringing to people to help them grow larger businesses, to grow more sustainable brands, to grow businesses that they don't hate, not grinding out cold calls, but actually building referral based businesses and really dominating marketplaces. We're finding the agents that we're working with are really dominating their marketplaces because it's the right balance of things to do. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, I'd love to talk to you. If nothing else, I hope this video helps you understand the process that I went through when I finally made my switch. And you should take the time to sit down and really evaluate where you're at. And does that fit for you anymore? Is that the right place for you? Because nobody can answer that question but you. And sometimes the fear of making that change will cause us to kind of close our eyes a little bit and not notice the obvious signs that we're not in the right place anymore. And that's okay. As we grow and we evolve as business owners and evolve as real estate agents and evolve as entrepreneurs, sometimes you have to go somewhere else to take that next step. And that's totally okay. Changing brokerages is not a bad reflection on you. So hope this helps. If I can help anybody in the future, feel free to reach out. You can find me on social media, Harrison Smith. You can check me out at evolutionctc.com or theevolutionway.com. We have a real estate community leaders Facebook group. We're in all the time.